We're making turtle whoopie pies as we enjoy a Disney date with friends watching Finding Nemo. Come along with us and we'll make this cute snack. Today we're going to be using a kit from a subscription box called I'm the Chef Too. We have been members of this subscription for at least a year, if not longer, and we have always loved all the cute ideas that they send each month. So, as we were getting together with our friends who are going to be coming on a Disney cruise with us next year, we have been wanting to encourage the kiddos to get into Disney movies by watching a movie that one of us chooses and having a correlating snack. This movie was Finding Nemo, and we were going to make a cute little turtle snack. It made it incredibly easy for us that we had this kit that already had planned out the turtle whoopie pies. So I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and make these. And we ended up making a few extras with just a little bit extra ingredients so we could actually feed as many people as we were having over. So, as you see, my oldest son is helping to dump in all of the drying ingredients. And the reason I love I'm the Chef 2 subscription, it comes with all of the instructions, most of the necessary ingredients. Obviously, there are some things that you cannot add, like things that need to be refrigerated, like if there's an egg or maybe some butter. But for the most part, every kit has all of what you need. They'll sometimes email you ahead of time and say, hey, your kit's coming in the mail. This is some things that you might want to add to your grocery list. But like I said, 90% of the ingredients are already in there and they're pre-measured. So it's very easy for the kids to go ahead and follow the directions. Like I said, with this one got started, but my son is, depending on how willing he is to do some cooking that day, he'll help. Obviously, they don't have to if they don't want to, but it's more times than not really fun and yummy to help make it. So we started with all of the dry ingredients, and then we're moving over to the mixer. When we involve a mixer in our recipes, the kids are way more willing to come and help. They want to turn on the machine, they want to see it go. So, yeah, all of a sudden, my youngest has decided that he wants in on this action too. So, we end up sharing the steps. They get to learn how to operate machinery in the kitchen, learn about kitchen safety, how we do things, just important kitchen stuff. And so this is creating opportunities, like I said, for my kiddos to come and learn how to cook, how to, just operate basic kitchen machinery. So we are moving on. An egg is also another thing that my kids will definitely fight about doing. This recipe only had one egg, so usually I have to negotiate and say, well, if this one gets to do the egg, the other one gets to do something else that's equally as fun in the cooking process. So as you can see, everything's getting mixed up. For our batter, we are adding the wet ingredients together. And then I'm going to show you here just an example of the instructions. They are so colorful, very easy, very step by step, perfect for kids and adults. Honestly, I enjoy making these kits by myself as well. But I enjoy cooking. So, again, even for those that are not finding cooking to be something that's like a hobby or something that's fun, these are very easy recipes to enjoy together with your child. So, it's continuing to be mixed. We're getting in all of that butter and whipping it up, and then we are about ready to move on to the next ingredient. So we are doing the milk, and I believe this is adding, yep, the milk with some of the dry ingredients to make our batter for the whoopie pies. Oh my goodness. And we did learn that when we add dry ingredients to our mixer, we definitely want to go slow. Again, perfect life lesson as we are making these adorable turtles. My youngest is obsessed with turtles. If I would let him, we would have a turtle as a pet. It is and has been his favorite animal. And so when he learned that we were making turtle whoopie pies, he was so excited. So now that the batter is all combined, we are getting out some baking sheets and putting on some parchment paper so we can scoop out the batter into turtle shapes. So I went ahead and put it into a piping bag, and that's going to help us to create that circle shape for the shell. And you can see here, it's really easy to do. The piping bags came in the kit, but you can always use any kind of storage bag, a plastic storage bag. You can clip the bottom and make just, easy enough a piping bag on the go. I'm already planning out how many we are going to need. Like I said, I ended up needing a few more than the recipe called for. The recipes in these boxes usually give you enough for 2 to 4 people, I would say. But we had 9 people coming, and so I definitely made the turtles a tiny bit smaller than they needed to be, just so I can ensure that the adults get to try some too. And so we had 5 kids, 4 adults, and the adults are always wanting to be included in the delicious dessert. So cannot forget the adults. And so I was piping them a little smaller than the recipe called for, but that's fine. It's totally forgiving. You can make them as big or as small as you want. And yeah, we easily finished that up, and we're moving on to the baking phase. Okay, as you see, they turned out great. With whoopie pies, if you've never made them before, they're not going to really like puff up really big like a nice fluffy cookie. These are a little bit more dense. They're almost like a cake cookie. And then you are seeing us whip up the frosting. This was a buttercream frosting for the center. We're dyeing it green so you get a little bit of that green color for the turtles. In previous whoopie pies that I've made, I've also used marshmallow fluff, which is a delicious alternative. So you can either do the buttercream, but if you're not a big rich icing fan, like I said, the marshmallow fluff would be a great substitute. So here you can see I'm getting out all of that delicious icing, making sure that I have enough in my bowl for all of the cookies that we're about to make. So yeah, it's a pretty easy process. And here's a little hack if you've never done icing in a piping bag before. One thing that I found to be very helpful is to put an empty piping bag into a taller cup, and that holds the bag open. You can fold over the bag, and it allows it a nice opening for that frosting to go in. You'll kind of see me tapping it in there. And that way you can kind of get some of the initial air bubbles out easier. So this was a hack that I found a long time ago when I started working with piping bags and frosting. So this might just be something that you find helpful as well. And then we are moving on to filling our little cookies with the icing. I am trying to pre-plan and make sure that I have enough icing for all of the cookies. As you can see, you just try to match a cookie bottom with a similar size cookie top. And there's not a whole lot of like hard science here. It's just literally eyeballing them up, kind of matching them up, filling them with icing, and yeah, it's pretty easy, and they're coming together really, really well. We've done the hard part, and now the next part will be us making some of the icing heads. We're using the same buttercream frosting, and we're going to make the shape of the turtle heads. Now, in the kit, there was green melting chocolate that they also suggested doing for the head. That was the initial plan. But like I said, I wanted to make a few extra of the buttercream heads just because I knew we might not have enough melting chocolate. So I was going to see how this worked. The frosting in the fridge did harden up, but it became soft kind of quickly after we took them out. So I really wouldn't recommend that. But like I said, it was just us more or less having to be creative, finding other ways to make more out of what we were given in the kit. So now we're moving on to cutting some of the melting chocolate in half, and these are going to become the cute little flippers for the turtles. So you cut them in half, kind of angle them like a turtle's fins or flippers, and yeah, moving on from there. You're taking the rest of the colored melting chocolate, and we are going to make the additional heads. A part of the kit was a guide, a paper guide that they recommended that you put under some wax paper. And once you melt that melting chocolate, you put it into a piping bag again, and you can follow along in that little tutorial, that little guide, I guess, that would create a perfect turtle shaped head. So that's what I'm doing with the melting chocolate, and just going to follow along with a piping bag that I just cut a very thin hole in, a very small hole, and we're making some turtle heads. After that, we put some eyes on them, and we go ahead and pop those into the fridge for just a few minutes to let those harden, and then you assemble them into your whoopie pie, and this is how they turn out. They are so adorable. I think that this one might be the cutest one we've ever made in any of the kits. My kids loved it. It was a huge hit. They thought it was just so cute. So in addition, with our movie night, our friends brought in some ocean water from Sonic and put some Swedish fish in there. We also had a quick little book club where we do a little review of a book that we have read as friends, and then we allowed them to have their little snack, and then we got the movie going. It was so much fun. The kids gave it a great review. We had none left. They got eaten all up, and we enjoyed them. After our snack was finished, we got down some cushions, allowed the kids to make their own little areas where they can watch the movie. We set out a couple of little fun lights. We have like a little jellyfish lamp, and set out some of our stuffies that are ocean themed or water themed. And these kids came up with a really fun, I guess, little apartment system there where everybody got their own little area. We did bring out Crush, of course, that we had gotten from our Disney cruise that we've been on, and the kids had a blast. The adults, I think, had pretty fun times too. So anyway, if any of this has inspired you, I encourage you to follow us and join us next time.